As you may have seen over the past few days, a few MotoGP riders were also on track with the World Superbike riders at the Portimao test. It wasn't just any MotoGP riders, it was the VR46 Academy, Valentino, Rossi, and of course, Marc Marquez and Alex Marquez. The first time that Marc Marquez has rode a Superbike Ducati, which was really cool to see. The bike looked fantastic in its Grassini colours. And of course, seeing Valentino Rossi on track on board a Yamaha. But the photos of him on track with Toprak, you know, the photos of Pecco Bagnaia with Toprak, and then the Marquez brothers with Toprak, it was a fantastic thing to see. It was almost like a crossover in a multiverse of motorsport, which I just love. And yeah, I think that seeing those riders on track together, obviously there was a big gap between the bikes that the MotoGP riders are allowed to use. As of regulation, they're not allowed to use like essentially super bikes. They have to use on certain tyres. You know, the bike has to be essentially like a stock bike. But to be on track with the World Superbike guys, and just to see those photos and little videos here and there, I think it is incredible. So it is, and it puts the question that I've seen in the media this week. Motorsport in Brazil reported that there is talks of this joint F1 and MotoGP weekend to happen in the future. It would be in America, it would probably be Coda, but it gets you thinking, why don't we have a joint weekend for MotoGP and World Superbike? I think that would be so much better for fans of both. I think that would be such a good idea, and I think it could be easily done. There was an incident at the test yesterday over the 2 days. Franco Morbidelli suffered a really nasty crash, we're led to believe. Yeah, the test session was red flagged, but it was quite a big incident for Morbidelli. We haven't got really any concrete information on what exactly happened. From what I've read, I believe it was at turn 9. So turn 9 at Portimao is that part of the track. It's the Craig Jones corner. But before that, you also have the infamous jump that you see all the riders taking. You know, those pictures of Toprak, Razgatlioglu, Jack Miller, them all taking the jump. I don't know if it's happened after there, in between. Maybe Morbidelli has lost the front and he's had a bit of a tank slapper, and that's caused him to crash. But anyway, where he crashed, it is a very fast part of the circuit, and any incident there usually is a big one. So it was red flagged. Morbidelli obviously was hurt, but the Marquez brothers were the ones behind him on the track, and they actually assisted him in getting help, you know, making sure he was okay. And then Morbidelli was took to the medical centre and then to hospital. We don't know the extent of his injuries. We just seen a photo of him last night, you know, giving the thumbs up, and Pramac saying that he was kept in hospital as a precautionary after the checks that they'd done. When he got to the hospital, they were all good. So I imagine that Morbidelli will be released today from hospital, but I don't know what that does for him in terms of getting on track next week for the Sepang test for MotoGP. Of course, that was his big opportunity to get back on the Ducati and really start learning that machine. As you know, he switched from the Yamaha. It's not a great start for Morbidelli and his preparations for this season. Thankfully, like we say, he is okay. You know, as we mentioned at the start, Marc Marquez on a Ducati Superbike for the first time. So cool to see the shots of him and Alex. I think, you know, seeing Marc on a different bike than the Honda still takes some getting used to. There's a real excitement, I think, going into this season now. You know, we're getting the build up to testing. We'll have testing from Thursday onwards for the shakedown test for the Honda, Yamaha, and the rookie Pedro Acosta will be on track. You know, focusing on the Sepang test, it's going to be a big time for these manufacturers, especially Honda and Yamaha, and like we said, the rookie Pedro Acosta. The the newly named Red Bull Gas Tech 3 team, they unveiled their colours on Monday, and that bike looks so good with the Red Bull sponsorship. Excited to see how Acosta actually gets on with the Gas KTM on a different track, and especially the heat that's going to be in Sepang. We know it's always warm, and there could be the threat of some rain, so perfect time for him to dial in a setup for the actual test next week. And like we have mentioned, the concessions allow Honda, Yamaha, all their riders, so that isn't just the test riders. That is Fabio Quartararo, Alex Rins, that is Kyle Crutchlow. Also, that would be Johan Zarco, Taka Nakagami, Joan Mir, and Luca Marini, of course. They can get to grips with that Honda. And I have seen reports that in Spain, they have said that the Honda, from good sources, is 8 kg lighter than the 2023 bike. That is a lot of weight to be moving off a bike, and I'm very interested to see how this Honda looks. Shifting 8 kg from a bike, and I remember Marc Marquez saying if they got to remove weight from certain areas of the Honda, I think it was in 22 or maybe last season, it would be a big help. You know, obviously it helps with direction change, but completely changes how the engine delivers acceleration quicker. You know, if the bike's lighter, it'll be faster most of the time through a corner. So yeah, interested to see how Honda develop this new bike that they have. And speaking of weight, Pedro Acosta told the media on Monday that he has gained 3 kg of muscle during the off-season. Of course, that step from Moto 2 to MotoGP, such a physically demanding change. And he also said he's wanting to get an extra 2 kg put on before the season starts. So Pedro Acosta, he's been bulking up, and yeah, you can kind of notice it from the photos from him, from his first test to the photo shoot shots we got of the gas. You can definitely tell that Acosta is preparing the right way for MotoGP. We'll have plenty of reaction from the test across social media, of course Crouch.net, our website, and here as well. Make sure to subscribe to all our channels, like this video, and we will see you next time.